Well, hi.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, I missed it. Wow.
You missed what?
I missed trying to add something. I was trying to do it.
Go ahead.
Can I dedicate the classes learning today and tomorrow to my mother's eighth Yortzeit, her Aliyah Neshama, Rezel, Bas, Yosef, and Chava? Thank you.
Sure, absolutely. Neshama shall have an aliyah. Of course, tomorrow is the your side, yes?
Yes, the 21st
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yes, Hayom Yom. Today is the 20th. Okay, a short but powerful, pungent little Hayom Yom. There is no one for whom to pride oneself, meaning to laud yourself over. No one. We must toil strenuously with patience and friendliness. And with patience and friendliness, we can prevail in all things with God's help. With a denigrating attitude toward others and inflating our own importance, we lose everything, God forbid. And of course, the opposite is true. When I'm saying this now, if we deflate our own importance, which, by the way, is one of the meanings of the Midah of Hod, which we are culminating today, Malchus Shebahod, with deflating our own self-importance, we find everything it turns around for the good. Tanya, about how God deflated his own importance. That's where we start. That's where we ended Erev Shabbos, and we're going to continue today on page 736 in Lessons in Tanya. You'll find it, and in the Likutei Morim, you'll find it on page Ayin, the fourth line down. So that's where we came from. God deflated his own importance. He moved himself to the side. Remember the mashal is given in Chazal, our sages. Ava decheches basar. Love shrinks flesh. In other words, it makes room for somebody else. And Hashem made room for somebody else through the process that we've been exploring called the Tzimtzum. And he made a world and worlds of limitation out of the allness and everything which existed before, so to speak, before that. And he did that what? For the purpose of showing his love to us and for giving us a capability and responsibility to bring Mashiach, to transform darkness into light, etc. V'hine, as we'll start. When a person will put his head to it and use his head for these things, which are the things I just remembered, I mean, the kunz of which is, the heart of which is ava decheches basar, to put yourself aside for the sake of someone else. Al umka deliba, and a person puts these things literally upon the depth of his heart, moicha, in his brain. So when a person does this, azai memela, then automatically kamayim hapanim leponim, like the face you show to the water is your face you show back. His halot nafshe, one's soul will be on fire. It is labish beruach nediva, and one's soul will be enclosed with the spirit of giving overness and generosity. Lehisnadav, to give, to be, to nadava is the word, the root of this word, to give generously. The haniach ula'azev kol ashalei menagid, and to despise everything which is against this, which is against giving oneself over to Hashem and being aligned with God's will. What will be the dominant force of the heart? If one thinks about this, and here we're back to the fundamental, machshava shalat adalev, if one puts this on his brain, that will bring it to the heart. and bring it to the heart. What will be the condition and state of the person? Only to cling to him, may he be blessed. And to be included in God's light with a clinging and a desire. If one puts one's self aside, that self-important self, and focuses on the godly self. So this will be the result, that by putting that other one aside, comes to the fore the godly self and the fulfillment, not the fulfillment, the filling of desire and longing to be one with Hashem. And the oneness here is described in the metaphor of kissing. Kissing, remember, is breath to breath, mouth to mouth. Is dafkas rucha barucha, as we said, clinging breath to breath. And what does that mean? What is that a metaphor? What is that a metaphor for? What do we mean by clinging to God breath to breath? On this it says in the first paragraph of Shema, it says, V'hoyu hadavorim ha'ela asher, etc. al levavecha. These things, these words, what are these words? The debartabam, and you should speak of them. These are words of Torah. The debartabam, your mouth should be full of words of Torah. In the Kabbalah of the Rizal, it writes that the unity, which is called kissing, ikorohu yichad chabad b'chabad. It starts with the joining, the unity of one's chabad with God's chabad. Where is Chabad expressed? Where is God's Chabad expressed? When a person concentrates in looking into and ingesting the Torah. The Torah is many, many things, too many things to enumerate here. But of course, one of the things is it's God's wisdom. So head to head, investing oneself in Iyar Torah, and then the mouth, the hapeh, hu moitze haruach. That's when you bring forth the breath. So this is kissing breath to breath. Vigilui, this is bringing forth the breath, vigilui, in the revelation of the breath, the bechinas gilui, in a revealed way. V'hainu bechinas hadibur v'davar Torah. So there's Iyun in Torah in your mind, Chabad, and then expressing it in your breath, which is the kiss, with speech, by speaking words of Torah. Ki al moitze pi Hashem yichye ha'adam, as the pasuk says, Lei ala lechem levada yichye ha'adam, right? Not by bread alone does a person eat, ela al kol, everything which comes out of the mouth of Hashem. Nevertheless, nevertheless, as far as that went, it's close, intimate relationship, but one doesn't fulfill one's obligation by her thinking and meditating alone. The Iyun Levade, or what the Torah construct, which is meditating, is Iyun, concentration in Torah. But that doesn't fill the obligation, that by itself. Until you bring the words of Torah into your mouth. So we're speaking now about a mitzvah. The mitzvah, we learned earlier in Torah, the mitzvah of learning Torah is only accomplished as a mitzvah when you say the words of Torah. It's not enough to be mindful of the words of Torah. You have to say, you have to take your animal, and here's we come back to the notion and the criticality of transforming, subjugating first, and then transforming the animal, starting with, in this case, the mouth, bringing it to mouth. Because that begins the process of bringing what Hashem wants. He wants to dwell in the lowest, in the animal aspect of ourselves. He wants, and that starts the process of bringing the Or Ein Sof Baruch Hu down below, ad nefesh hachiyunis, to the enlivening soul, asher chenes bedam ha'odam, which dwells in the blood. So that's the point. relationship with Hashem, the loving, the kiss-to-kiss, the intimate relationship, the limud iyun of Torah and bringing it into your mouth is for the purpose of starting it with your own physical brain and your mouth, bringing it down and down and down into all the 613 limbs and organs of your body, so that we become a living expression of godliness in this world. So we bring it down into the enlivening soul, which dwells in the blood of a person. And we are composed, a human being is composed of all the lower levels, the blood, the inanimate, the earth, and then the vegetative. We have a growth process, and we're an animal. And then that's all those lower things constitute the qualities of the Nefesh HaChayunis, the Nefesh HaBahamis, which we are designed to bring into congruence and to serve Hashem. Congruence with Hashem, with the Nefesh HaLakis. Kedei lahalis kula Hashem, to raise up all of the bottom tranches of reality, the blood, the power of growth, the flesh itself, to raise all of them Hashem, to raise us to Hashem. This is the model of this, of course, is the Beis HaMikdash, and the Beis HaMikdash is the Shekhinah, which is within us. To bring them all to Hashem, im kol ha'olam kula, throughout and then also to bring with us, every one of us, the entirety of all the world, with a kalalon b'yehudai, and to include all the parts of all the world and every being in the world in the oneness of Hashem. Ve'ora yisborach, and in His blessed light, asher yor la'oris v'ladorim bebechinas goodly, that the presence of God should radiate, should shine to all the dwellers, all those who dwell in this earth in a revealed way. The nigla Hashem, and the glory of Hashem should be revealed. They're all called basar yaktor, and all flesh, not all mind, not all spirit, all flesh should see godliness. They're all called basar yaktor. That's the end of the pasuk. It doesn't. All flesh should see His unity. They're all called basar yaktov. This is the whole purpose of why God made Himself small. Why He pushed Himself to the side and made place for us. This is the whole purpose of it, of the whole Seder Histalshalis, of all worlds. What? What's the purpose? That the glory of Hashem should fill this world specifically. The beginning is Gili, in a revealed way, to transform darkness into light, umarira lamitka, and bitterness into sweetness. This is a quote from Zohar, as we said above, the arichos in at length. And here's the punchline of this chapter: Taklis kavanas ha'odem b'vadosai. This is the whole purpose and the whole intention of God's creating us. The Abadosoi, to be involved and given over, putting our other self aside and bringing to the fore and to the grist mill, not the grist mill, to the mill, to the grinding mill, to the mill which produces things in our avodah. The Hamshik or Ensof Baruch Hu, to draw down the infinite one, blessed be He, Lamata, down to below. Rak, here's the way to do it, the only way to do it. This is the way He set it up. First, to give over ourselves. And giving over ourselves, opening up ourselves, yes, which is the theme, interestingly, of the Hayomium today. The way to do it is the halus ma'anuchvin, to raise up our own waters, which are called the feminine waters, because we're receiving from Hashem. And now, we open up ourselves to Hashem. Limser le nafshe, to give oneself over, give himself over. Oide, and do it, back to Krishna, the moed, with everything you've got. And this is the end of the chapter, and it's also the end, interesting, of the Sphira of Hod. Hod today is Malka Sheba Hod. Hod is given over. I mean, it has many meanings, but one of them is bittul, submission, giving over, which is exactly on the theme of our Yom Yom today. And it's Malchus, almost a paradox, the splendor, the majesty of total given overness, of humility, the majesty of humility. And that's today's Tanya. So we're going to live that. That's today. Spheres of today's sphere, the majesty of humility. Achnoah, where everything begins. Any comments? Any questions? I'm browsing here. Okay. See you tomorrow, Yemir Hashem. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay.